I've had this cheap table saw for many years, and it's gone through a few blades, and I just figured that since I'm testing out this particular blade which I got to do a review, that I would show how you change a circular saw blade on a table saw. Let's just go through the steps. First thing we need to do is to get access to the blade, and I'm just going to be taking out these, whatever you call these things in the table here. And this is very simple. I don't have any guards or anything on this, so you may have more things to take off than me. And it's a good idea to hold onto the screws, which I just lost one. Just looking down here, if you can see that, there's the nut. And so that's what we need to take off. Now this of course is unplugged, but we can rotate this blade. So what we're going to have to do is to rotate that. Remember, if you're looking down on the top of that nut, then it's righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, right? We need to be able to block this blade so that it won't rotate, and then take off that nut. So now, what I've got here is a dowel. What you need is anything that can go in those teeth and stop this thing from rotating. Now, if you want to wear gloves, it's not a bad idea. So the idea is, I'm going to hold this in place with my left hand here, and I'm going to just pull on this, and it should come loose with a bit of luck. Okay, now I've switched to a piece of plywood. Now you want something that's not going to get chewed through with the blade, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hit this like this. So I just kind of forcefully hit that, and that's loosened it. So now this should come loose. So if you want, you can use a hammer. If you've got somebody holding this in place, then that can also be helpful. All right, so that's loose now. So now actually I can get my hand inside here, maybe just a little bit more. Actually, I can, yeah, I'm just gonna, now it's loose. So here we go. So you're gonna have a few things to take off here, which you're gonna want to replace in the opposite order. So in this case, there's a nut, and there's a washer here, so that's going to go back that way. Here is the blade. Take a look at that. And then on the other side, there's actually another washer there, which doesn't need to come off, because we're just going to put the other blade on. So let's take a look at the new blade. Here's the new blade, and this blade is particularly designed for chipboard, veneer board, laminate, MDF, plywood, and hardwood. So if you notice, compared to this blade, this got a lot more teeth on it. So the other thing is, this is also thinner. If we take a look at this, this has same size hole, which I believe is 1/2 inch probably, so there's nothing to knock out. Sometimes you need to, if you have a different shaft size, you might need to knock something out. Now it may help just to observe the direction that the blade is turning when you take out the old blade. This side is actually the front, so the wood will be feeding from this direction. So what you want to happen is the blade should be cutting this way. In this case, these teeth have to be cutting when this rotates like that down into the table. So it's going to go this way. All right, so you don't want to put it backwards, or you're going to have some teeth that are not going to do any cutting. All right, so let's put this one in. Right, and then we'll put this retaining ring, washer, whatever we call this, and all we're going to do now is just tighten this up. And just something to be aware of is this this blade rotates this way, from this side to this side. So that means that when this is rotating like this, it's designed in such a way that when it's spinning, it's actually tending to tighten itself up. Well, if you want to tighten this up so that this is tight, then you would need to put something in here to stop this from turning. Now, what I sometimes like to do is just jam something in, just because I just feel more comfortable by making sure that this is tight to begin with. So I'm going to go put this back on. I've got something jammed in here. So, as you can see, that blade was tightening up against this wood. So this should be good. And then all we need to do is to replace all the things that we took off. So now everything's set up. I'm going to rip a couple of pieces off of this board just as a test. I'm going to make some something like some 2-inch strips. Now, you notice I don't have any special guards and things on here. I prefer not to, but of course it's a good thing if you have them. What I do like to do these days is I wear a face shield, because I've just had too many times when chips have come up, they hit you in the eye and the face, that kind of thing. And I kind of like this face shield. So let's give this a try. So there we go. Nice blade. Don't you think so, Dougie? What do you think?